I am going to be crafting some pie donuts today while experimenting with pigment and ink mixes at the same time. The color palette is yellow, blue and green, and we'll use mica pigments, alcohol inks, pearlescent mica powders, greenish glass beads, matte gold crafting beads and some golden foil. I'm taking inspiration from the traditional Chinese donuts which used to be made from jade and were green in color. To color my donuts green, I will be mixing and matching from the materials I selected earlier. While our resin degasses, let us prep our silicone mold. I will be using this pearlescent mica powder as a base for one donut, just to see its potency against a color lighter than black in the background. The sides need special attention because I do not want a harsh boundary here. I will blend this reflective pigment as much as possible. Let's make the first pigment color mix with some yellow, blue and light green. Before we move along with our mix, let's work on the donut which will use clear epoxy resin. The pour has to be slow. I am realizing that I should probably have mixed the beads into the resin before transferring it into the mold. Right now, while my resin is bubble free, the chances of air bubbles being trapped in the space between the beads is very high. Well, I can't stop now. We'll just have to do better next time. Let's start with the first resin and pigment mix. I am short of color here, I need to quickly mix some more. Let's top off the donuts with a little more clear resin to level them with the top of the mold. Now let's fill these two donuts almost all the way to the top such that the surface remains a little concave. This gives me some room to add more later. want to see the scope of movement for alcohol inks here within this tiny space. How much of the yellow and blue combine and become green, and how much remains as it is and gives the color a texture. Now, I'm going to mix some of this pearlescent pigment into the base itself before adding color. This one is now a mix of ink and pigment. Let's see how this works out. Next, let's use some alcohol ink and foil and some blue pigment. If I could mix the foil really well and break it into really small pieces, it would start to behave like a pigment. I'm just curious if the reflections of the foil will counter the blue that we just added to this resin mix. Now for the next donut, let's make some resin mix using green, blue and yellow mica pigments. Time to layer the colors. I'm going to pour it a little randomly in this donut. For this donut, the plan is to pour over the center so that the colors layer evenly across the sides. Now for the final touches before we set it aside to cure. A swirl to mix the pigments. Remember, this was poured in 2 batches. Let's drop some of this blue pigment into this mix, just to see how it layers. Now we have these gold matte beads. I'm expecting that they will settle gently and form an interesting visual texture. A little more yellow for the pigment mix donut. Some final swirls. I will remove some of this excess resin using this plastic pipette. We are all done. Now we let it cure for a day. It's time for demoulding. The resin has set. So you can see I might have poured a little more in some of the resins and they have domed. This one is just perfect in volume. There is nothing is extra. Some of them are coming out in this concave surface. This one has a air bubble which has not completely popped. This one is fine. I think these are air bubbles which are trying to escape. In this one I had tried to drop beads towards the end and you can see one of them has just escaped the doming process and has made a ring around it instead. These beads have come out very nicely. There are no bubbles or anything. I'm very excited. Oh, there seems to be a little undulation in the surface, but I think the other surface, this which can be rectified by little doming. Yeah, the one with the pigment has come out very nicely. I think what happens with the pigments is a little bit of it settles and that leaves a bit of the resin to really... I think I might have added clear resin on top of the existing resin. So let's demold. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. That's beautiful. It's come out so nicely against the light. The edge is smooth. Nice. It's perfect. Let's go for the second one. Oh, the color difference in this is gorgeous. It's absolutely fabulous. Again, the edge is smooth. There is a lot more action on the other side. So in this technique, it seems to me that if I'm going to use the same technique later on, I need to have an understanding of what I'm doing on this side might not completely reflect what I'm doing on the other side, like in some projects where you're using alcohol resins and it is deep enough, the viscosity is also lower. Ooh, this is beautiful. This is almost monochromatic. This is the one where I had tried to do layers, but the layers are only showing on one side. So interesting. So I had put one color and then I had added two other colors, hoping to see if it would create a sort of swirl effect. That didn't happen, but this in itself is gorgeous and it has maintained its form very well, and it has contained the other colors inside it. So it's beautiful, very pretty. Okay, this is the one with the alcohol ink. Oh, look at that. That has come out very, very nicely. This is a combination of pigment and alcohol ink. So, oh, this is nice. And you can see a little bit of I'm not sure if you can see the color from the side also. It's looking very beautiful. This is interesting. Both the sides have such distinct textures. I would not call this an entire success unless I want to deliberately create this technique. I would have liked some sort of a... It's disconnected. It's as if this side is completely disconnected from this side. So unless I want to create this technique specifically on one side in complete exclusion of the other side, I would probably go for this style. Oh, it's a little bendy, this one. The others were interesting. They're all slightly bendy, maybe because they're not very thick. This is, I had given it a coat of pigment, chameleon pigment, that has thrown out a little bit of colors, and I had sort of sprinkled a little on this side, and the rest was alcohol ink. So this is what you get if you add pigment over alcohol ink. Okay, interesting. Keep that in mind. So this goes there, and I was really looking forward to this. I hope there are no big trap bubbles on the other side. Oh, and there is. It was sort of expected because the shapes were so big and I had no control. I can probably fix this with doming, but otherwise, all in all, this is fabulous. This is absolutely gorgeous. There are a little more bubbles on this side also, so that can be fixed. I will work on it and make it better. Since it's clear resin, there is no challenge of having to add colors to match. So I'll just fill these up and give it one round of doming. Yep, that's what I'll do. Oh, this is cute. The color is nice. This is the one where I had tried to mix 3 colors. It has come out nicely. It's subtle and textured at the same time. And this is, I don't know why I did this actually, but since it was an experiment, I was trying to combine as many materials as possible. This is the pigment, extra pigment I had with the golden mica powder. This is also interesting as an effect if you want to deliberately achieve it. So this was on the other side, and yeah, beautiful. So it seems that the mica pigment just sunk completely and gave it this look. And oh, this one is looking so beautiful on one side and the other side. So the same thing has happened, like on this one and this one. So the pigment, once I mix the pigment, that is what is showing up, and it's not reflecting all the other things which are happening. So if I have to create this effect, I have to create it on the side which is open instead of the side. And also I made the mistake of dropping the resin on top of this little donut hole, and that sort of self-leveled. And so this hole is now finished, as in is now not finished. What's the word I'm looking for? The hole is now closed. This the donut hole, and I'll probably have to open it up, and the edges seem to be a little bit frayed. I'll need to sand it off. All of the donuts are a little flexible. Interesting. And this is the last one. Looking also very, very nice. Okay, so it would seem that this one I wasn't expecting much out of it, but it has come out very, very nicely. It is consistent on both sides. On this side, clearly it seems to have sunk, plus I added a little clear resin in the end, and that has created its own little pocket. You can see it's as if the So this is a technique which I can definitely use deliberately in some of my projects. And the other side of course has come out very nicely. This mold is a good one. All the shapes have come out beautifully, even the ones which have a little bit of molding on the other side, but the seam is perfect. So this is how it looked on the open side. This is how it looked on the other side. Our donuts are now ready for use. They can become part of your macrame projects, be made into pendants, bracelet charms. The options are varied and fascinating. I learned a lot while making these donuts and I hope they were of use to you. Happy crafting and have a wonderful day.